Hi, my name is John. Welcome to another Wednesday catch-up video. Before I get started in tonight's video, I want to make a little mention about last week's video when I got on about surface rust and corrosion on some of my tools. I think I found out what caused it. I've been using an ultrasonic cleaner to clean some bits of an old engine I'm restoring, and I had some really aggressive carburetor cleaner in, and I think I had the water temperature up 80 or 90 degrees, and I think it's been sort of the condensation from this that's landed on the metal and caused the rust. I've cleaned it off, I've put some proper oil on them, and everything there has been absolutely first class, no more rust, and neither do I want any. The noise you can hear in the background is my little diesel heater because it's absolutely freezing here, so it's noisy diesel heater or no video. Anyway, in today's video it's a little bit of a maintenance sort of job. I've got an angle grinder that stopped working. It was working intermittently and it's gone off altogether. I'm going to have a look inside it, see if I can find what's broken or what's causing it, and also if I can get it running, I'll do a lube job on the gearbox just to keep it up and running. I use angle grinders a lot, not so much in here, but in the other shed where I do a little bit of sort of welding and blacksmith work. I remember years ago at college we had to make some blocks to block an engine up, and we had to mark out these bits of steel and then hacksaw them and file them to get them to shape. And I cut mine out with an angle grinder, and I've used the grinder to get them pretty near, and the teacher didn't like it, man. He went absolutely apeshit about it until he measured them and found they were still all nice and square and parallel, and I filed them and finished them to fit. And I just told him I didn't need to practice with a hacksaw and a file, and an angle grinder is a good tool in the right hands. Anyway, that's enough talk. Let's get stuck in, see if we can get this thing to work. This is the grinder in question. It's a Hitachi grinder. I've had it a long time. First thing is, it's unplugged from the mains. Not turned off, the plug's out. Right, so it doesn't work. Sometimes if you shook the wire, it would work, which probably tends me to believe the wire is broken in here somewhere where it flexes all the time. I have put new wire in here before. It's got a quick release on it, I use them all the time. It's got a guard on. I leave guards on grinders. If you need to take the guard off for any reason, you're basically using the wrong tool, simple as that. Right, so I think there's a screw in the end, and this bit pulls off. We'll have a look and see what's happened to the wiring. Right, that comes off there like that. The wiring normally breaks in here where it flexes. So we'll cut it open, see exactly what we can find. That's the wires going into there. Like I say, I have replaced the wiring on this grinder once before, but to me that definitely feels like a break in there. The wire on here is rubber armoured wire. It's not plastic rubber. It's much more flexible and it's more resilient or resistant to oil. Right, we'll have it cut open. Right, broken live, broken neutral, broken earth. There's no doubt about it, that is the fault. You can see the wire there, it's been arcing, it's been tracking. Nice, straightforward, easy repair, nice clean break. This is twin and earth, a 3-core wire. You don't use the earth on these, they're double insulated. We'll just use the live in the neutral. Better. Right, you can see the earth's just been trimmed off in there. So that's the live into there, and the neutral goes round into that little terminal block. We'll take the live out first. And a little screwdriver to get the one out of there. little fine terminal squad I needed for that one. Right, that's it. I'll get the airline and give this a good blowout. There, the brushes in there. See, it was working fine. The commutator in there is in good condition. Certainly well worth a simple repair like this. I've got some new flex. You could get away with just cutting that, shortening it down, but I think I'll put a new wire in when I'm this far into it. Right, so I've stripped the outer insulation off and I've nipped the earth wire nice and short, and I've left roughly the same amount of wire sticking through as is on the old one. Strip the ends of the wires down, a little bit more on the live one. We'll do the neutral one first. That went into that terminal block there. Right, neutral wire goes into there. All the way in. And the live wire, which goes onto that terminal there, and the wire tucks nice and neatly into there. And then the anchor goes onto there to stop the wire from being pulled out with a tool. Right, that's it. So you can't pull the wire like that. I'll get the air in, give it a blowout, then we'll grease the gearbox up, put a plug on, and it's ready to live again. See how the switch works. That's the switch there. That slides back and forward, puts the switch on and off. Right, put the cover back on now. That's it, like that. One screw holds the back on. I always like to leave a good length of wire on my grinders. Not a ridiculous amount, but a good couple of meters. We've got a 4 meter bit of wire, so we'll just cut that in half, and that gives you 2 meters of flex. Right. Take the plug off here, and we'll reuse the old plug, and nothing the matter with it. This is a thing of the past. You don't put plugs on anymore, everything comes with a plug already on it. The man that world, well, not that long ago. I mean, the wife, she can put a plug on using a knife and a pair of scissors. She's done it many a time. Cut the wire to length using the old lead for pattern. Right, a quick check, make sure it's all good, no bare wires, live, neutral and earth. Right, moment of truth, we'll plug it in and see what happens. Make sure it's turned off, it is. Right, resurrected. I'll unplug it, unplugged, and then we can have a look inside of here, re-lube the gearbox, and that'll be good to go again. Let's check some of the scrap off the bench. A little bit of shock treatment. Turn as you're tapping. Normally gets them away. Excellent. It's the quality of the gears in here, the bevel gears, that determine normally how long a grinder lasts. But even a cheap grinder, before you use it, take it apart, take the dirty grease out, a horrible cheap grease, and put some decent stuff in, and it gives it a fighting chance. Right. So you can see the grease in there, there's none at all where it's meant to be. There's plenty of line in there, but there's none on the actual gear teeth, and there's none in that bush. Let's take some of this out of here. See, it is good grease, it's still got its properties about it. But I've been given some of this stuff here, which is supposed to be really good for high speed gears. I'll put some of that on. It won't last forever, but at least it'll give it a fighting chance. And these grinders are in daily use. Right, so we've got a liberal coating on there. It's pointless putting too much on, it doesn't do any good. It'll be noticeably quieter with the new grease in for a while. It does make a big difference. Straightforward assembly now. Put the guard back on. It's really important that you do use a guard on a grinder. Some people don't. It's just bad practice, really. I think some of the DIY programs, and I tell you, they're worse for it. You see them using these bloody things and no guard on, and they're well, they'll cut fingers off. No, I've got plenty of scars with angle grinders with no guards on. Loads of cuts and wounds. There's a bad one there. You learn that's even having a guard on, you can still catch your fingers. You've got to be careful. Right, that's the guard on. That's a little bit that drives the disc. And that's a bit that holds the disc on. We'll plug it in again, give it a whirl. That is noticeably quieter. Definitely quieter, happy with that. Nice little repair job for a Wednesday night. Well worth the effort. Once again, it's just time to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We're getting perilously near 100,000. Don't forget, there's a link in the description box to these new double boost caps. Thanks for watching.